All right, so this video, we're talking a little bit about accountability. Quincy Williams gave a post-game interview with SNY, had some interesting comments that I think are worth sharing and worth discussing a little bit further. So let's listen to his clip and discuss on the other side.
You guys were down 17-0 at one point. You guys battled back to the end. What does it say about this team?
I'm gonna be honest, man. People get tired of hearing the same. Taking accountability from the top to the bottom. That's the main thing, bro. That's all I got to say for real.
All right, let's talk about the fumble recovery. What happened there?
Just lost my battle, man. I gotta get that one to the end zone, bro. When my number get called, bro, that's it.
What's the mentality of this team right now?
Like I said, people gotta start taking accountability, bro. People get tired of hearing the same thing every week.
For you, what do you need to work on?
I'm tired of saying the same thing every week. For me, I need to start working on being a leader more. That's the main thing.
All right, thanks, Quincy. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you for having me.
Whenever Quincy Williams talks, I do try to take notice of it because he's not a big talker at all, and he's more of like a stoic lead by example type guy. And this is now the second All-Pro in 2 weeks that has now called out accountability. We heard Rodgers say it last week. Obviously, you had the post-game presser with Saleh where he talked about the cadence and maybe we got to dial that back. You know, a lot of pre-snap penalties, false starts, things like that. Rodgers comes out and says, that's, you know, cadence, yeah, we could work on that. Or, you know, maybe we could hold players accountable or hold people accountable. And now, like that, the Robert Saleh or the Aaron Rodgers comment felt very much geared as like a slash towards Robert Saleh, where this week with Quincy Williams, it could very well be pointed at Saleh. I feel more of the angst is against the offense. Like clearly this defense has been elite the last few years, and not getting more than 10 points last week versus the Broncos and not getting more than 16 points. Well, obviously the offense gave up the pick six, but not getting enough points to beat the Vikings. Very, very hard to swallow if you're a defense that's only giving up, you know, minimal yards. You got 2 takeaways. You got the interception. You got I think it was a fumble, right, today? Whatever. Quincy Williams saying that top-down mentality. People got to take accountability. I'm tired of coming up here and saying the same old thing week in and week out. The dude put the onus on him. They're like, oh, what happened on the fumble recovery? Look, I just, you know, I lost my balance. I got to do better at doing that. I want to work on being a leader. Like, these guys are taking accountability. The defense seems like they've at least, like, they're dialed in. They're doing what they need to do. I think there is a respect on that side of the ball, which is probably why if something were to happen with Robert Saleh, 𝐂𝐼𝐷 probably gets elevated to that, you know, interim head coach. But, man, the offensive side of the ball has got to figure their shit out because for a long bit of this season, the best players on our team have not been performing like the best players on our team. Rodgers has been pretty much hot garbage for outside the Patriot game, like the entire season. Garrett Wilson, outside of today, really has not looked very good. The offensive line does not look good at all. Trash. Interior. Rodgers was hit, I think, 14 or 15 times last week. I think he was hit like 11 times this week, just getting smacked around. Breece Hall, I don't know if it's the blocking scheme that's throwing him off, going from a zone blocking scheme to a man blocking scheme this year, but he does not look like himself. Maybe he got injured in one of the games earlier this season, but he feels slow, maybe a little bit more, I don't want to say timid, but just doesn't feel like he's hitting the holes the way that he did the last 2 years. And like when you go from Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers, you would expect things to kind of open up a little bit more, and it doesn't feel like we're seeing the fruits of that. You got Lazard dropping balls nonstop. I mean, like, you can't have that major critical third downs. Aaron Rodgers tries to go to him nonstop in areas that he, like, you know, they just kind of, they're on the same page, but Lazard just can't hold on to it. And this is me coming from, like, Lazard was looking pretty decent through the first few games of the season, and it's been really, really frustrating. So Quincy Williams asking for accountability, what does that look like? For me, I feel like you got to spark something on that offensive side of the ball. And before you wind up pulling the plug on the head coach, I do think you need to remove play calling responsibilities from Nathaniel Hackett. And I don't think you necessarily fire Hackett. You know, obviously there's that relationship with Aaron Rodgers. He clearly likes having him around. I think the players do like Hackett from like a personal standpoint, but you guys just not getting it done on the offensive side of the ball. So at the very least, I would try and put Todd Downing as the offensive play caller right now. We got to see Downing call the green and white scrimmage in training camp. There was some success there. Maybe that sparks something. Maybe a Devontae Adams trade comes to fruition and you want to ship off one of Mike Williams or Allen Lazard or whoever it is at this point. I just feel like something has to change. If we lose to Buffalo, like, thank God the Bills have lost the last 2 games. They're the only reason the Jets are remotely in this conversation right now. And if the Jets win, we somehow find our way into first place in the AFC East. That doesn't feel like it should be happening. Not given what I've watched through the first 6 weeks. 5 weeks through the season? 5 weeks through the season. Doesn't feel like that should be the case. Josh Allen could be banged up. If you drop this game, I don't think Robert Saleh should be the head coach anymore. You have to be able to win some big primetime games. And this is going to be another one of those games that is technically an extra day of rest because you're playing on a Monday night versus Sunday morning with this week. And Robert Saleh, I think, has never won an extra rest week. I don't want to keep having these conversations. I would like to be excited and fired up for a season that we're winning games and hopefully trying to make the playoffs. But it feels like this team is starting to let things slip, and it could start spiraling out of control very soon. And I fear that a loss to the Bills may wind up starting that spiral, and it is far too early in the season to be thinking about this right now. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a green heart if you made it this far in the video. And as always, go Jets. Jets, 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 Jets.